I really don't want all y'all time today. I have every intent to just weave in, wave out, drop a few jewels while I'm doing it, and leave y'all with something to think about. You know, it's always a lot going on with you as well as with me. I'm going through transformation after transformation. You know, dark night of the soul after dark night of the soul. They ain't gonna stop coming as long as you keep living. You know, shadow work is an ongoing thing. But for the most part, everybody might not resonate with this. Many I assume will, but I know few definitely do. We already won. The hardest parts already been accomplished. The biggest part left is to not turn back to what you already accomplished. You see, to not fall suspect to what you don't already gain victory over, the old self. So if I'm talking to anybody in their new self, let me be an encouragement today. See, because I did everything they said I wasn't gonna do. I accomplished everything they said I wasn't gonna accomplish. I survived everything they said I'd never make it through. Who I'm talking for? Because I know I'm talking for somebody. You hear me? I'm not the only one. I survived what was supposedly designed to take my life, take my soul, take my spirit, and take my liberty and freedom that go with those other things that I mentioned, that make up the makeup that's sitting before you, that we all made up of. Just to name a few. Walk with me or you're gonna miss it. So it's a pleasure to be with y'all on this journey. It's an honor to be here, most of all. That's gonna resonate with some people. And I wanted to, in a way, not to make you in conflict with what I said, but in a way that can complement you in what I said. It's important to me that the mask come off. It's important to me that I don't wear one. It's important to me that you don't wear one, especially if you're gonna interact with me. The mask must come off. See, because once you meet the you that's not lying to yourself, then your life will never be the same again. See, once I met the me that wasn't lying to myself, that was ready to stop lying to myself, that was ready to stop hurting within myself, my life never been the same since. I'm talking about shadow work. More so, I'm talking about what light do. What light do to and with anything it come into contact with. I'm a firm believer. I'm a firm believer that no one is beyond repair. I'm a firm believer that no one is beyond repair. Why do I say that? It's because I had the opportunity to heal, and I chose it. We got a lot of broken, disgruntled, stubborn, resistant people still present. So, with that being said, I got a question. Where does it run out? Are you where it ends? Because I'm not a saint, so I know I'm not talking to no saints. I know there ain't no saints on the other side of this message. Ain't no saints gonna come and see what Sabu gotta say. The saints already think they're better than anything that Sabu gotta say. And them the biggest devils running around town, somewhere in your location. You hear me? Wherever you at geographically on this thing that we call the earth. But where do it run out? Are you where it ends? Who gonna be the one? In other words, who gonna be the one to break all that, it running the family nonsense, bullshit. Let's call it for what it is. Who's gonna be the one to break it? It running the family. I emphasize that and I stress that the way I do because most times, at least in my circles, according to my upbringings and environs, most times we have heard that statement. It's usually being used concerning some toxic, negative, dysfunctional occurrence or situation that's being made to appear like it's cool. That's being made to appear like it's okay. That's made to appear like this is what's accepted. This is the norm. And if we all be honest with ourselves, according to the things that we seen, according to the things that we witnessed, and even in the cases of some of us, according to the things that we reenacted and committed, according to the things that we seen and witnessed ourselves. If we really be honest with ourselves, we know ain't nothing normal about that shit that we seen growing up. The evidence is what's so popular today. Shadow work, ascension, dark journey of the soul. See, these things wasn't mentioned 20 years ago, not in the circles that most of us came up in. And even if we did have spiritual people in spiritual places trying to turn our coat or put us on game to certain things, we wasn't really to listen. See, I'm gonna speak to us, about us. I may not be speaking about myself, but I'm gonna speak to us, about us, because I'm not above the flock. I'm not above my soul drive, man. No one beyond repair. But it's that keep it in the family thing. That was the toxic things. And I'm gonna go further into why. Why Sawu always talk about shadow work for those who question it, for those who got a problem with it. Because people want to heal. I remember a time I wanted to heal from the things that wounded me within. And it was nobody to give me no answers because all the phrases and all the words and all the details that we have today, we didn't have 20 years ago. We didn't have 30 years ago. We didn't have the tools that the younger generation has today to bring information at their disposal. We didn't have these tools. We had to be outside. We had to go through experiences. To where today we're in a time where people can learn things off the internet, but they ain't had the experiences. What's the proof of that? Just go on the internet, turn on the news, turn on anything, turn on TikTok, turn on Instagram. You got damaged people damaging people. And you got damaged people getting with damaged people, allowing themselves to be further damaged because they don't know no better. And ain't nobody's talking about it. And those that is not being amplified. Those that are willing to talk about it is not being promoted. It's not being magnified. So let's talk about it. It takes shadow work to grow. It takes shadow work. That's why I'm always talking about shadow work. I recognize the sickness. I recognize the sickness that I found a cure to. So maybe something I could say, something that I say can help be a cure for somebody who's still in that sickness, because I still see the sickness going on. It takes shadow work to grow through what's stagnating, what's stagnizing, what's holding us back and keeping us bound to shit that ain't even got nothing to do with all right now. It's funny, but it's not. and it really takes shadow work to strengthen the things that account for our weakness. See, light don't just shine. Light don't just shine, period. Light don't just shine, but light just don't shine, period. It has the capacity to magnify and amplify whatever that it comes into contact with. But what we forget is, in the process of doing that light also exposes the thing that it has came into contact with. So the light within it can bear witness on this darkness. Walk with me or you're gonna miss it. That's the opportunity that most of us fail to hop on when we get that opportunity to leap at it. Walk with me. You're gonna miss it if you don't listen. Why is that important? Because it's the uncomfortable things, the uncomfortable conversations that's most important. That's gonna shine light where the darkness don't cause the most damage. Because people wounded, people broken, people disgruntled, people stubborn, people angry. And in many cases, they don't know why. The uncomfortable conversations is the most important right now. These are the ones that have. But most of us still running from the opportunity to take advantage of them. We running from the opportunity to seize the opportunity at an opportunity that we may never get again in this lifetime if we don't get it done right now. For those who understand what I'm talking about. And it resonates to something that goes deeper and far beyond your ears. We'll run. We'll stay attached to abusive situations. We'll stay attached to harmful situations. We'll stay attached to hurtful situations. I'll stress it again. We ain't had the information 20 years ago that we got today. So ain't nobody got no business being in no place where they ain't got no business being at. And in the core of your being, you know you ain't got no business being there. Because you're not cared for, you're not loved, you're not spoken to, you're not treated the way you're supposed to be treated. Ain't nobody got no business being in no situation where it's dimming their light or causing them to feel less about themselves than they would feel about themselves if they wasn't in that situation to begin with. I don't know who I'm talking to, man, but I need to talk to somebody today who need to hear this. And this today gonna be any day that it come across who need to hear it, because it's a timeless message. It's just how I'm being led today. So whoever I'm talking to, please know that I've been there to know. If you don't know nothing else, I've been there to know. Being alone, always better than being around the wrong people. Being alone, always better than being in the wrong situation. Being alone, always better than being where you're made to feel like you're just around. Being alone is always better than being where you're made to feel like you're not worthy, because you are. You hear me? Men and women. See, this ain't just to women, and this ain't just to men. It's to men and women. And in some cases, I'm speaking to the LGBTQ community too, because I did research on them and found out that in the study that I did, in some cases, if not most of them, those type of relationships, male on male and female with female, is more abusive, more violent than heterosexual females. Now, I'm not saying it's the way one against the other, but I just had a long 6 hour to 8 hour dialogue, with somebody who was able to give me that information or share that information with me from the side of law enforcement. Let's put it like that. Was willing to share that information with me according to the study that I was doing. And you can research it yourself. It may be different for every locality from state to state, but it's just some things that I shared in accord with what I wanted to discuss today. So whether it's physical abuse, mental abuse, emotional abuse, verbal abuse, abuse is abuse, man. Right is right and wrong is wrong. We all know that. You hear me? Don't treat nobody child in a way that you wouldn't want nobody to treat your child. Let's just go for everybody. Because human and I meant to open it out with what I'm about to say now. Human behavior has nothing to do with race. I see the same atrocities being acted out by white, black, Hispanic, Hawaii, wherever we want to pull up. Human behavior, dysfunctional human behavior, has nothing to do with race or the bad or none of that. The more I observe, the more I see. But I had to get out of being quick to react and respond to be able to see what I was observing. If you don't listen, you're going to miss it. And that's a jewel to whoever could pick it up and polish it. Thank y'all for y'all time, and I hope y'all appreciate me for mine. Stillness and abundance, love and light, health and wholeness. Thanks for the likes, unlikes, shares. Please share the message. You do nothing else. That's the biggest support y'all can give me. Put me in the algorithm. Purchases, donations, love offerings, so forth and so on. Happy birthday to my cancers. It's still our month, so we're gonna ride it out to the fullest. I love y'all. One family.